As a whole in this country, black women were not given the full accreditation for a long period of time, not by their significant others. A lot of black men were not upholding the cultural values, or even to the stringent accounts, the simplest values of being a man, or being a father. We were not upholding those values. And so, yes, I agree. Black women bear the brunt. They bear a lot of the work. I also have to acknowledge that black women continuously receive acknowledgement for this. I am one of the people who acknowledge your part in the black struggle, in the black community, in the black family particular. You have a very important role, if not the most important role. I acknowledge, and I always have. My problem is this, although small, again, this is a minuscule compared to the issues that we really are facing. This is a very minuscule thing, but it's a perfect example of the phase out, the permanent phase out of the black man. Okay, we already see that heterosexuality is trying to be phased out as we speak. Okay, and we're looking at the phase out of the black man. Well, I say man because the black man is being singled out. This isn't an attack on the entire black family. The black family has already been dismantled. The black family has been dismantled since the major child support laws that were passed back in the mid-'80s, the early '80s and the mid-'80s. That was the beginning of the dismantling of the black family, and now we are seeing the end result. So I already know the black family has been dismantled, but this is a phase out of the black man in particular. Why, you say? For those of you who would dare to ask that question, especially in particular you educated black women, you so-called educated black women, for those of you who would dare to ask the question, well, why do you think black men are being phased out? It's their own fault. That's a lot of the responses that I get and that I hear when this topic comes up. But I'll give you that example right there was a small example. The black man is being phased out in every way. You have already been taught by the media, most likely by your mothers, because 85 to 90% of black children are raised by single mothers. So you've already been taught by mothers, the media, you've already been taught by other women that a black man is no good other than to give you money. I'll say it again, you've already been taught by the media, you've already been taught by many of your single mothers, you've already been taught by other women that the black man has no value and has not qualified to provide any provision, be it guidance, be it direction, be it discipline, be it anything. He is not fit to provide you with this unless he is giving you money, unless he can provide you money. In fact, if he cannot provide you money or a certain amount of however you see that he should be able to provide, you will not accept any other provision from him. This is a known fact. We see this. Again, this isn't my opinion. You can look at the divorce rates. You can look at the single mother, single parent rates, okay, that will show you, okay, it will back this information up. The black man is being phased out, okay. My thing is, and this is one of my issues, particularly with the educated black women out there, although I love you very much, but my issue is, it's almost as if you hold the front line for the defense. Each time white supremacy comes up with a system or a mechanism to continuously phase out the black man, it started again, like I say, with child support, the provisions that were revised when they took out a father, his being able to see a child. They separated that from him making payments, and so he was basically held at ransom to pay payments for this child, even if the woman would keep him from his child. That let women know. Also with the Section 8 housing, they also changed it at that same time, stipulating that in order to receive any benefits, you had to have a birth certificate and you could not have a man in the home. Be it you had to turn him over to the overseer or the state officials. You had to turn his name and information over so that they begin to charge him, but he still had no right and could not be in your home. That was the first start of the phase out, for those of you who don't remember. I was born in the 80s. I know a lot of this firsthand, and again, I've done a lot of research, an extensive amount of research on this. So that was the beginning of the phase out, okay? And over the years, we see it anytime you hear a prominent black woman or a educated black woman or a maybe a a more homestead black woman, anytime that they give you their examples of what they want in a man, the first three things that you usually hear is he has to make a certain amount, he has to have a certain credit score, he has to have a certain economic status in order to be anything to me. So we know that those trends have effectively grown and effectively followed us on to now. And now this is 2017. So the black man has already been phased out by that. He's further being phased out by homosexuality, this plague that has come over this nation, again, resubmerging modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. But we see also he's being phased out by that. We have many hurt black women. We have many women who have been scorned by black men because, again, this isn't a saying to take up for black men. This is to simply point out that black men have always been derived as lazy, always been derived and attributed to as not dependent, will not stay there for their children, are not capable of loving just one woman and being faithful to her and upholding their home. They've always been reduced to these things. They have always been taken for this. And so I say this is from slavery days. There was never a time when the black man was given any credit for anything he may have done. However, the black woman has always been attributed with being the backbone of the black society, period. Like the old saying says, how many of us weren't raised by a black woman? White people say this. So again, this isn't to take away your props, so to speak, or your importance. This is to shed light on the fact that they are phasing out your brothers, your brethren, your black brother, the black fathers that father these black children. They are phasing us out systematically. And you seem to play the first line of defense in this systematic phase out. I don't even want to get into the corporate world as far as how they're phasing us out of there. We already make less wages than the black woman and the white women. You all, again, nothing against the feminist movement, even though they used your numbers to further move their position. Because I have to quote another question that was posed by Dr. Umar Johnson. When has a black man ever been able to hold a black woman back from what she has wanted to do?
4, 3, 9, 1.
When has a black man ever been able to hold a black woman back from what she has wanted to do? I don't think you can hold any in the history of this country where we have had that power or authority or ability to hold you back from what you wanted to do. Okay? For all the women out there and the men out there, again, this is not a video to uphold men or to defend us. This is just to bring light on the current situation. We are being phased out. Please pay attention to these signs. The divorce rate is higher for a reason. The single mother rate is higher for a reason. I often find it interesting how women can be accredited with being the backbone and the integral part of the society, even those that refuse to work, have multiple babies by multiple fathers, and will hold none of them accountable for their child, but continue to have children. And you still get accredited with being a backbone or integral part of the black family structure. Okay, again, this is not to point fingers. This is to shed light on an epidemic that is occurring. The black man is being phased out. But remember this, for all you educated sisters out there particularly, who say, well, you know, that's just how it is. It's evolution. That's just going with the times, whatever excuse you want to give it. What would the black woman be without the black man? What would the black man be without the black woman? Do you think that the black race will go on once the black man is phased out? You'll be the next to be phased out. Remember that. Peace and love. Blessings be.